Alright. Now, like a triumphant hero. It's been a long time since Sub-Zero Samsara... Wait, what? Since the Sub-Zero Samsara. And many things cannot be ascertained until Nahida gets back in form. Today, you go to the Adventurers Guild, as usual. Act 3 gets crazy. Is it going to be worse than the Samsara? Am I going to be stuck in another time loop? And I have to wonder, oh gee, what's causing that? I wonder. How's it going to get crazy? What could possibly happen?
Astra,
shut up!
Do you have any commissions? Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Oh, damn it. Like, don't get me wrong. I like academic institutions. I do enjoy research. I've studied academia for about 10 years myself. But I feel like when you try to do a love poem, I'm like, oh, damn it! Who am I gonna have to please this time?
Wait, say what now?
Even I'm surprised as well.
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Oh god, read a love poem, get everyone's reaction. Let's see how disturbed and violated everybody else feels.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
It's called... Oh no, I'm not even looking at anything. I feel embarrassed just imagining it. Have a reaction, because I'm reading a love poem to somebody in front of an audience. Probably to someone or something that I don't even know. Why?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission.
Why would you assume I would be? And why would you just hand it out without thinking?
In that case, please go to Port Armos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Wait, there's an orphanage in Sumeru?
Hey, that's not any better.
Oh god, mercenaries and orphanages really don't go together. Especially when said mercenaries, or some of them, might have originated from said orphanages.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Oh god.
Paimon's gotta ask, just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Yeah, who's asking me to take out the garbage?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
What? So you wanted me to take out the garbage?
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Oh god.
Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack. From when she said, add Astra Abysosk?
Sosk? Wait, what? Abysosk? Oh god. Yeah, maybe. I just tell her to shut up no matter what. I didn't see a difference there.
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream.
So the Akasha can't take away the dreams of gods? Does it work on you? Or are you somehow immune from it?
It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. Except it was a happy one.
Oh, damn it! How the hell was the one I got involved in not a happy one?
In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy.
Oh god, everyone had a kumbaya moment.
I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground. And I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be.
No.
It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
But in reality, that's not the case, because not everybody always sings Kumbaya, because that's an idea that exists obviously in fantasy, but people hate each other just for no reason at all, so the kumbaya thing is not gonna work.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity?
No, this is the emotion known as, like, dread and hopelessness because I don't want to go through that dream again.
No, we aren't pitying you. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing?
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. Her condition is stabilized.
Also, Patrick, please do something about that.
However,
Please and
since
thank you.
Alizar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsol's own withering.
Who? Irminsol's own withering. We can... Wait, one manifestation of the withering. Her condition was stabilized, however... As manifestation on the withering, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsol's own withering. So if we do something about whatever's going on in Irminsol, then we can do something about Dunyarzad's Alizar.
But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more, but let's just keep away from the dream part and not go through it again and again and again.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival?
I would just want to kill everything and burn everything to the ground and watch it happen again and again, and let's see how much they want to harvest that!
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here.
Yeah, well...
Good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
Really? Really? And Patrick is probably disturbed by me by saying I want to burn everything to the ground. But you know what? Don't be surprised. That's how I feel like most of the time when I get stuck in a loop. Ugh.
Let's continue our chat here.
And Act 3 is crazy. Maybe I'll act crazy.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida?
How can we spy on them without them spying on us in our dreams?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that.
Uh-huh. Possess a key figure in academia, possess a student and infiltrate the sage quarters. We could grab someone close to the sages and question them. And interrogate them.
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences.
Like what? What are they gonna do? Sue me?
After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Yeah, well, we're not like the person in the city. We kind of took off the Akasha. Or did we? Was this a key figure in the academia?
I've already tried that, but all the key members of the academia, even the core 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals.
Yeah, I noticed as well. Even in the Samsara dream, I noticed they weren't wearing the
It
Akashas.
seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against
Have you already caught the sage's attention?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
Oh, I can't control them like a frickin' Cthulhu god who controls everybody. Possess a student and infiltrate the sage's headquarters? Is that even gonna work?
No way, that's too risky.
Why? Because they know whoever they only have their little circle, people who don't have Akashas, and if they see someone wearing Akasha, they'll know it might be you.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught?
Yes.
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish...
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
Fine, you care about everybody and you don't want to get him involved. Except for the sages. I can't think of anything else. I don't have any extra ideas. Ask them to come out. Maybe take Nari? Convince Signari to actually join and allow him to infiltrate everything?
Are we really out of ideas?
No.
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Saying no at first makes you say yes in the end? I don't know. That almost sounds like a marketing strategy that he used in Discord Disorder, in my Discord Disorder days, but I feel like that doesn't quite work here.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom?
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
A mole.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work.
Yeah, well, haven't we already spied before, and why would you have any doubts now, Paimon?
Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Setaria?
Setaria, no. No.
Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia?
Oh, her? But why?
We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she...
I've always liked observing all kinds of people. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working.
No.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky.
that actually reminds me of my ex, who also has the same name, and she even made a joke about how her name was Star and my name was David, and she was like, she's the Star of David.
Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light.
Oh, dang it. This frickin' quest is gonna remind me of my ex, isn't it? You know what? You're right, Patrick. Act 3 is gonna get crazy.
Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters.
And then the sun exploded, and then things happened. And then for some odd reason, everybody was still alive.
The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky?
What? There's a reason why night is dark. It doesn't have to be brighter, like there's two suns constantly orbiting the Earth at two different opposite ends.
But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
But in the end, she couldn't create a second sun, so she had to hide within the night.
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here.
Why is she focused on the sun?
But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Or, like, that's not the only reason why people join academic things. Maybe that is intentional. Some people join a college or university simply to get away from their parents. Some people join college or university because they feel like they'll make it big someday. So they might be running away from some of their previous problems, but after graduating, they're gonna deal with a lot more problems.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore.
Oh my god, it's like we have a train scenario where someone's gonna die if we don't do something about it. But if we do something about it, less people are gonna die. What are we gonna do? That's their solution, just don't bother dealing with it.
She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, She had already become the sage's accomplice.
Hmm.
She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore.
Really? So, we gotta do something?
Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again.
Oh, damn it.
That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself.
Okay.
From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Great. I gotta bring up the same old in front of her. Oh, God. Alright. So, I gotta go shopping. Now, is she gonna shop here? No.
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Setaria?
I don't think it's gonna be like, what was it? That previous story quest where I had to follow somebody. I don't think it's gonna be harder to find her.
No, I already have enough information on Setaria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics.
Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates?
So she's doing that weird medieval talk. Or, like...
The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
You're pulling off a Shakespeare. And you're young. For a fortune teller.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering? Shh!
Of course, of course.
Are we...
In that case...
Are we actually talking to her? Nabiya. Not Nahida, Nabiya. Also, are we actually talking to her? Like, Nahida could be controlling her. So we're just talking to Nahida again on the other end? What?
It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you.
She's one of those...
Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
She's one of those crystal ball ladies. Can't remember. Not good. Nah, screw it.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
I think I may have pissed off someone somewhere down the line. I think I may have pissed off the Futui, or someone else under the Futui. Either way, who's out to get me?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Yeah, because fortune tellers often resort to a very, generalized thing, and it's easy for some people to pick up. Divine my prospects of health and love. I don't know. Either or.
Love prospects? Oh, The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed.
What if it doesn't?
One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people will fall for you. How could that be?
Because it's a female character by default. Of course people are gonna fall.
Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Great. Meow, I tried to be more specific, but I couldn't be more specific than that. The power of the main character is ever so intertwined with other people for main character reasons.
Actually, Python thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
Agreed.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? I have main character syndrome. Of course, my fate is uncertain at many points.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
Shogunette. Except you're saying it in Sumeru, so I don't know what the Middle Eastern equivalent for saying it cannot be helped, but that cannot be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, Perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
What do you mean, Wheels of Fate? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, gather information by another person. You.
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Sumeru City, so she still comes by when I start talking with him. Listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Oh, wait.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
Are you also gonna give me the Shakespeare language again?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Sounds like I'm somehow gonna get rich off of you, but I'm gonna say it to your face. Well, actually, I don't know if it's your face or Nahida's face.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's a pity my internet no longer works because I can't learn anything anymore.
It's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
Exactly.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
Why do I keep thinking of that scene from Rick and Morty when Jerry fell off the roof? I don't know.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement.
My dad fell off the roof, and now he's retired.
I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some good.
No problem. Rest easy.
Fine. Rest easy. Except my dad won't, because he broke his leg. Now he's fully retired for the rest of his life.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia.
Why?
So she always...
Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
No, we only went to like 2 or 3 stalls. That's not everything.
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens, after all.
No. Well, actually, it is her duty, but like...
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Who?
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
Keyshawn.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Shipbuilding. Why?
Ah, that's right. I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering.
Why?
After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent.
Yeah, because you've been playing Sea of Thieves for too goddamn much, and you're like, uh-oh, my mind is elsewhere.
But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
Really? You got your mind elsewhere and you're thinking of studying still?
What an admirable spirit for...
Sure.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
Dave, why was it not brought up before?
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
As long as I get into college or university, my life will be perfect. Except that doesn't... Not everybody who gets in is always happy. Especially for the person who's hoping for that. I'm starting to think... Like, she's not using the Shakespeare language now that I think about it. Like, she's trying to, like, look for happiness in the academia, so... Maybe that might be our clue. Well, I'm talking about Sataria. Like a triumphant hero. Like a person who is not a villain.
So,
3 familiar faces should be enough for Setaria.
Navia, what's his name, and Shishan?
what's the point of all the information with
Setaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities.
The 3 people that we talked to. So there might be something related to it. Like the first one, the fortune teller Nabia. Something about, like, fate from the gods, or just... Maybe there's something related to that. The second one is maybe the family matters? Like something about, like, her father helping her out, or something. And then the third one is wanting to get into school and be happy. That's the only thing I could reflect on those.
I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret.
Yes. That's what you expect from an extremist group.
Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's soft spot.
Although it's all bullshit, maybe her homeland is a lot closer after all.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Setaria feels about her homeland.
Yeah, fine.
Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
But what if King Deshret comes back? Then what?
So, how do we set that up?
Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Setaria is also too smart to fall for any simple trick. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere.
So we gotta go with somebody else who's related to her homeland, but what are the demographics related to her homeland?
But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret.
Oh, dear God. We gotta play the role of the extremist.
As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use
She's
all
a
the
ghost.
info we collected on these people.
Yeah, I was thinking of that as
Slip
well.
up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
She's a ghost, possessing everyone she chooses, including Catherine. Or at least only those she can choose which wear the Akashas.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Dear God.
Huh? Best of luck?
Call Ghostbusters.
We don't know how to possess anyone.
Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Oh, do we have to wear the Akashas?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha turban.
Huh. That is pretty
Oh, great. Now we have to do
Although
it.
I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
Time to scare the living shit out of somebody. We're actually playing as the extremists, or pretending to be, to convince a student to go back to their homeland.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
Okay. Let's see how bad it is. Let's see. I have to wear the MAGA hat.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
I really feel like we are taking a political stance at this point.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Let's wait until the next day. Now, are we gonna possess you? Do you have to play the role of a ghost and pretend to be a freaking extremist?
Oh, here she comes. Satari's here.
Great.
Let's quietly follow her. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you.
Paimon's starting to feel kind of nervous.
Same.
Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Okay. She'll never suspect we're over here, despite almost being in plain sight. Okay. We're actually here.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook.
Oh god. How's this gonna work?
Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Why you expect her to not listen?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong?
Does Kitty know?
I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
Oh, God. Damn it! Marut?
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they?
So,
Damn it.
today, you must have come for another echo of the divine...
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
What?
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
Really?
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
How am I gonna do this?
The gods are asking, Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Setaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods
Did it work?
seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
Dang it, do I have to answer that question again? I don't know what you said.
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
What?
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
Use the power of religion. Oh god, we have to be the religious fanatic!
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city.
Dear God.
I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Okay. Is she convinced? And then that's a very long delay. Is she suspicious? Yep, girl.
She just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset, too.
Did I get something
Well
wrong?
done. Setaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss.
Ah, damn it. Did I get something screwed up?
To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harabata theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be other... Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Setaria.
Oh, great. We have to go to the, Oh, God, did I forget a name? I probably have forgotten a name.
She's at Akeem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him.
Let's get ready to possess him. Let's play God. Or just possess another soul. And here we are
It's
again.
okay. I just got caught up in something.
Like what?
Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Masonry work.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget?
How could I forget?
Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better?
He can lift stuff. He's walking now. He broke his leg, so there's no way he's walking, so he can lift stuff now.
Huh? Wasn't he nursing a leg injury?
He sprained his arm a while.
Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
I can't remember that one.
He's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos. He has a quick temper, and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret?
Ah, figures. He's gonna put the split between the two.
I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Funny how when you take a position of authority, you somehow turn logic around.
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa. Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
We're just getting into the role. I wasn't too harsh, was I?
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and...
Okay, so I may have gotten at least one or two things wrong.
Come on!
Maybe.
Victoria's
So it was the leg injury. I chose that option because I thought he...
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately?
Oh god, how are we gonna convince a student to convince another student?
Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
No, I've been spending all my time studying the basement because I do remember the basement part.
Oh, right. Speaking of strange, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia, and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects?
You really turn her against the Academia by putting a wedge between her and the Academia.
Please, please stop!
All the places she's gone to.
Even now, Satori is still trying to run from her problems.
Did I push too hard?
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards.
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass it.
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Heretics are infiltrating
great.
the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Great, am I gonna possess the Merc now?
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead.
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price.
Now I feel like we're going a little too far with this one.
You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared.
Now I feel like I'm gone somewhere else with this one.
Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Oh, dang.
Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
This is the power of religion, making you feel like you're the only one.
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling.
Yeah, because people who get out of that conservative likelihood are constantly being hounded by the ones who want to crawl them back.
I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland.
And to be honest, I almost, feel bad for Setaria at this point.
But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
Not too late to turn back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
I'm sure she's not gonna ask, how the hell do you know that, but...
How do you know me so well?
Okay, she did.
Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of... Please tell me, what can I do for you?
Alright, we finally convinced her.
How much do you know about the sage's current activity?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zero's festival.
So she was the one who arranged the Samsara.
But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements.
And what were they?
However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city. And even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
Okay, so the same station is still wary of. It's either him, whatever his name is, from Port Armos, or Tignari. But then again, Tignari's been invited, but there's no indication that he's been to the Academia before, so... Amenheim? Him, maybe?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage.
You'll see.
And I've been working on many tasks outside of the project.
Is it a person I don't know, Patrick?
One thing, though. I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands... let me see... let's use the most primitive method.
The Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap.
It's him. So, which him are we talking about?
I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safe.
Alright, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
Yes.
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Oh, great. Do we somehow convince an academic student to go back to religion?
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Setaria to our side.
How does that work?
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Setaria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Hey, but if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and guardian of the scholars?
Yeah.
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
We should pray. To you? No. Then to who? There be some logic going on in this game.